All right, so we're back to finish up our series on Seed to Significance, Building Big with Little, Part 3. So we're going to touch on all 3 of our points that we started the series off with: overcoming the fear of starting small, recognizing the value in your current resources, and staying committed through the quiet seasons of growth. We're going to go ahead and sum them all up and get you on your way to success, hopefully. Let's do it. Hey, welcome back to the All-Purpose Pod for an All-Purpose Life. Wherever you are and however you listen to, they call me Mr. U and the Inspiration Station. Thanks again for making us part of your week. So glad to be back with you guys. We're talking from seed to significance, building big with little. This series has been awesome. If you haven't got the first 2 episodes, the first 2 parts of this series, by all means, please check it out on all of your listening platforms that you use. And of course, on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/They Call Me Mr. U. Please check it out. Take notes. Let us know how it's helping you, because it's definitely helping me. And for what I'm hearing, it's helping out many of you who were in the series from the beginning. But I tried to encourage you guys from the start to explore the sacred truth that everything great begins with a seed. We talked about David and his humble beginnings as a shepherd to becoming the greatest king that ever lived. No matter what your resources are, your dream is valid. We talked about overcoming the fear of starting small. We also touched on recognizing the value in your current resources. Today, we're going to try to hammer that last point home, sum it all up, and hopefully get you on your way to being successful and accomplishing some of the things that you want to accomplish in life. So bear with me. Let's try to finish strong. So staying committed through the quiet seasons of growth. I've been asking questions throughout the course of these series. I have a question today. What legacy are you quietly planting today? What legacy are you quietly planting today? You know how it works on our show, especially on the Inspiration Station. When we're talking about seeds and plants, I give you guys a garden analogy. I can't even help it any more natural now. I'm actually out here in the South planting stuff, growing fruits and vegetables. Never thought it would happen, but here we are, almost 10 years in, growing almost everything out here. But what legacy are you quietly planting today? I know people, and this is when I used to work in the corporate workforce, people who wanted to have a job. I was a recruiter at one point too. I did a lot of stuff. I was a recruiter at one point. You get these kids up in here, breath still smelling like Similac, talking about they want a $25 an hour job. We had them. But they came into my office. They were in dress pants, sagging. I'm like, where's your belt, boy? I was already at odds with them already because they came in unprepared for the interview. You know, came in late, and they wanted a $25 an hour job. And the last job they had was $9 an hour, and they quit. The last 3 jobs they had were under $10 an hour, and they walked off all 3 of the jobs. But you can come into my office and talk about you want a $25 an hour job. Yeah, that's sure going to happen, right? What legacy are you quietly planting? Those young people came into my office planting a legacy of failure, a lack of self-respect, a lack of self-awareness, a lack of work ethic. And they're going to pass that on to the next generation if they don't make adjustments and changes in their behavior, in their mindset, in the areas of discipline. That's the legacy they're planting today. What legacy are you planting today? What are you growing? Are you trying to grow a complaint tree? Or are you trying to grow an alibi bush? What are you growing today? Let's get into what it means to stay committed through the quiet seasons of growth. I want to get into this. I know we're probably going to run out of time, but I'll do my best to keep us going. Please go back to our first 2 episodes. You can kind of follow this. I'm so sorry, but life happens fast. But I love this because it seems to me, especially in the conversations that I'm doing or just in private chats, It feels to me like people are unable to deal with the silence that comes with the quiet seasons. What do I mean? When I talk about, here you go, gardening analogy, you knew it was coming, right? When a seed grows, and we plant a lot of seed 2-3 times a year in a lot of cases, sometimes more. We put that seed in the ground. We cover it well, make sure it's compacted well and whatnot. We water it, make sure it has access to the sun. We recognize that it's going to be growing and doing things in the earth that we can't see. It's going to be in obscurity. It's going to be in darkness. That seed is growing, but you can't dig it out and say, hey, how you doing down there? Because you're going to kill the seed. You got to leave it in the darkness. You got to leave the seed in obscurity. You can't go check on it, stick your finger in and see how it feels. Do you feel anything yet? No, you leave it in there and let it continue its process. The process is important for anything you're trying to grow in life, whether it be a fruit or a vegetable, or whether it be a dream, a project, or goal that you have for your life, a vision you want to accomplish. There's a process to it. You can't get around that. There's no book to give you a shortcut. You can try to find one. If there is, throw it in the trash, because the book is probably trash. There's no shortcut through the process. It's not going to work. If you try to eat an apple when it's not ripe, it's going to taste awful. Leave it on the tree until it's ripe, and you enjoy some incredible flavor from that fruit. There's a process that growth has to take, and it starts with obscurity, and it starts with darkness. That seed is away from everything, and it's relying on enough water and enough light to help it to grow, but it still stays in darkness until it's not. How many of you are in a place of darkness? How many of you are in a place of obscurity? You know you got a big dream. You know you got a big goal, but guess what? You feel like nobody sees you, nobody hears you, nobody understands you. You feel like you're not even known. You're that seed. I'm talking to you. You're that seed in obscurity. You're that seed in darkness. But bear in mind, I want you to understand this. You're not in isolation, and God has not forgotten about you. I'll say it again for those in the way in the back that may not hear me. You're not in isolation, and God has not forgotten about you. You're just in a season of growing. You're in a growth season, and it's quiet. You don't feel anything. You don't sense anything. You don't even smell or hear anything. It's just quiet. Ask me how I know. I've been through those seasons so many times, and you think just one season, right? And then you're done, right? Sorry to dissuade you, but it's not that. There are multiple seasons of growth, and they're all equally as quiet. How do you stay committed? For me personally, I'll speak for myself. I won't tell you what to do. You can learn from Mr. Yu's lesson today and do with it what you will. I was in several seasons like that. I was in a season where I had paper, I had finance, I had money. There was a time when I had paper you put on the walls. I had achievements and certifications and documents and all the things that say, you know what, you should be successful. You should be doing great. You got all the tools, but I feel like people couldn't see me. I feel like I was the invisible man walking around the earth. Nobody saw my value. Nobody saw what I can accomplish. Nobody saw what I can do. Excuse me. It was a quiet season of growth, if ever there was one. I felt like everything I was saying was just going to fall to the ground. Nobody was going to care. I know some of that stuff was mindset, but a lot of it was just the season that I was in. I was being kept away from some things that I shouldn't have been involved with. I was being kept in obscurity. I was kept in darkness until an appointed time. But how do I encourage you with the way you feel during that time? Honestly, I gotta keep it real. I gotta be honest with you. It doesn't feel good. I can't help it feel good for you. It doesn't feel good. But the thing that kept me committed was recognizing that I know I had value. I know that what I was going to accomplish, the dreams that I had, the goals that I had written in my journal or in this cards all around my house, I knew that this was going to happen. I knew that the vision was bigger than me. I knew the goal was bigger than me. It was God inspired. I said, this is big. This is going to help a lot of people. It's bigger than me. I got to just walk through this season. And it wasn't easy at first. I kicked against it a little bit. I rebelled just a little bit. But eventually I said, you know what? I'm going to lean into this. If I'm the invisible man, I'm going to stay invisible. I ain't going to talk too loud. I ain't going to scream and holler. I ain't going to make no scene. I ain't going to be a distraction. I'm going to stay here, endure this process. And when the time comes, I'll come out. Well, spoiler alert, I'm getting ready to come out, but we'll talk about that on a different show at a different time when I can discuss it. But I'm getting ready to come out the ground. I'm getting ready to come out the dirt. I'm getting ready to come out of the darkness and the obscurity because something is getting ready to happen. So thank you for being patient while I was in this quiet season. I'm getting ready to come out. But what am I telling you? Stay committed. The only way to do that is to stay focused on who is growing you. For me, it's God. I don't know who it is for you, but for me, it's God. I'm growing in obscurity, but I'm getting ready to come out because I have a purpose. I've been manufactured with a grand design. There's something for me out here. And I want to just encourage you guys as we get ready to move close to the end of this episode that there's going to be quiet seasons of growth. There's going to be areas where you're going to feel like you're by yourself. This is when I say embrace community again. Embrace community. I don't mean the community that keeps you down, that talks to you like you're five, that you got to dumb down for because they ain't trying to go nowhere or do nothing in life. I'm talking about the kind of community that uplifts you. Not a handout generation, but a hand up generation. The kind of community that helps grow you and stretch you and push you out into the deep and say, you know what? I see more in you than what your friends see. I see more in you than what Uncle Bebe and them see. Move out. Have faith. Have confidence. Test the waters. Do something more than what you've seen and what you've heard and what people said was your future. Go further than that. I love what Steve Jobs said. His story is amazing. If you take time to check it out, he has some great advice about how to persevere when times get tough. He said, sometimes life is going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I know most of y'all, you get hit in the head with a brick, you're going to lose faith immediately, and you might lose your mind, and you might show out. He said, sometimes life is going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. That's an advice to future billionaires who are not where he already is. He said that. He also said, don't wait to start until you have all your investment in place. People say, I need to have X amount of money to get started. But he said, that's not the way to start. And it goes back to our original topic, building big with little. He said, in many cases, you need to have a lot of money to start a business or to start a project. A lot of times, you can start it from your kitchen table. Trying to get a loan from the bank is often, it's a trial. And I love his advice because it's really honest. It says, you know what? If you have the motivation and the goal and the determination, if you have community too, you're even better ahead. You're even better off and even way further ahead than most folks. Start humble. Start with a low budget. You might be surprised what you can accomplish. You can build big with little. You don't have to have big things to build big things. Your goal, your dream, your hope, your vision is not going to be big in the beginning. Like we said earlier, that sacred truth is that everything great begins with a seed. You got that inside of you. The Wright brothers were flying, and that was revolutionary. Before there were planes and helicopters, these guys were flying. They did that with limited tools and shaped them into extraordinary outcomes. Don't allow the thing that looks like limitations to keep you from growing. You are growing, you are becoming, and you're not alone. People are just like you out here trying to accomplish the same things. They're trying to build their own website. They're trying to build their coaching business. They're trying to build their hair salon and their nail salon and their barbershop. They're trying to build their restaurant. Sometimes you have to start with little. What do you bring to the table? If you can't cook, don't bother trying to start a restaurant. If you don't have a handful of at least 15 recipes that you can make, skillfully, that's more important than you getting a loan from the bank. If you can't cook, don't bother starting a restaurant. If you don't know how to line somebody up and cut their hair, don't bother trying to start a barbershop. You're wasting your time. That's my whole point. Those little things, the little techniques and skills, they matter more than all the other stuff, because that's where the dream is going to be built from. What you can do, what you do have available to offer, your current resources. I hope this was encouraging to you. I hope you got all you needed from this. I would love to continue the conversation. I'm pretty sure that 3 episodes may not have covered all the things that you may have on your mind, things that you may want to talk about, things that may have come to mind as you heard this series. You may have more questions. I submit to you that I'm really open to answer those questions, talk to you about your situation in detail. I'm totally happy with doing that. Check out our website. They call me Mr. U.buzzsprout.com. They call me Mr. U.buzzsprout.com. You can find all of our social media links there. And of course, reach out to me. I'm happy to walk through some of these ideas with you, maybe perhaps answer some questions, offer some insights if I have some, or just hear your heart. What is your seed to significant story? Where are you trying to build big with little resources? Let's talk about that. I'm excited about this series. I'm very excited to hear from you guys. Thanks for listening, sharing, and following, and of course, subscribing to our podcast. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.